You know, the other night I did a video on the Armatix smart gun, the IP1. Now, in that video I said, I want one. And a lot of people came back at me and said, how could you possibly want one of these? How could you buy one of these guns knowing the dangers of this gun? Now, there seems to be two different classes of people that think this gun is dangerous. Those that think the technology just isn't there, which I really don't think it is either, who think, oh, this gun's going to get people killed. This gun's just not safe. It's not reliable enough to be a protection weapon. To those people, I say, well, where the f are you every time Kel-Tec puts out a gun, or, you know, Jennings or Cobra, etc.? So don't give me that bleeding heart bullshit that you care about everybody's going to buy this gun, because I don't believe you really do. You're just using that as an excuse for why you don't like the gun. Then there's the other people that are a little more on the mark and say this gun is dangerous because of states like New Jersey, who are going to try to say, well, once you develop smart guns, all guns have to be smart guns. Every gun sold has to be like this gun. Well, that's ridiculous, and that's a misuse of power, and that's politics working in the worst way politics can work. Those people I agree with. So this gun does have some problems. Technologically, it's not 100% there. Still got a few bugs to work out, but it'll get there. And it does have some politicians who are trying to make this the law of the land, trying to use this as a way to deny people firearms. Because let's face it, it's expensive, it's not very reliable, etc. People aren't going to want this. They're just using this as a step towards disarming the population. And the people that produce the gun, you know, they've got a reputation of doing this too. They've got a reputation of trying to encourage lawmakers to make this the law of the land, to make people have to buy their products. But despite all those problems, I still want this gun. I mean, it's a sci-fi nerd's wet dream. I mean, the thing looks like it fell right out of a science fiction movie. It lights up, for God's sake. It comes with a really super cool spy watch. I mean, this is something that's like, it's better than sex to sci-fi nerds. I mean, the second I saw this thing, I started craving a cigarette and started making excuses for why I finished so quickly. But that's just a small segment of the population, sci-fi nerds like me. Because like I said, I don't think they want this to just be an item that gets out on the market and has to do its own thing, has to actually stand up to public scrutiny, has to stand up to market pressures. Because, like I said, there's only going to be a small segment of people that are going to buy it. Sci-fi nerds like me, and maybe, you know, some upper income people that have kids that want to be able to leave a gun out that they don't have to lock up and that the kids can't fire. But other than that, at this price point and how limited of an appeal it has, I don't think it'll do well. Because most people will just be like, well, I'll just buy a handgun, say, for a lot less money, and be just as protected as I would be if I owned this thing. It's a novelty, plain and simple, at this stage. But the technology will get there. Eventually, you'll just have to wear a ring, and it'll be a lot more reliable, be as reliable as pretty much any gun on the market, because technology does advance. And trying to stand in the way of technology, it just makes you a fool, because you're not going to be able to stop technology. You can't keep the genie in the bottle, period. If you try to stand in the way of technology, all you're going to do is get left behind. So we have to learn to fight this in a different way. We can't fight the technology. We have to fight those bureaucrats and politicians and producers that want to give this thing an unfair advantage and want to make this thing the law of the land when it doesn't deserve to be the law of the land. That's what we got to do. Because in the end, I think this should be available to people who want to buy it, just like biometric safes, etc. Other types of safety devices are available to people who want to buy it. But that's going to be a small segment of people. It can't take the place of traditional firearms for many reasons. The main reason being the government could turn these things off. They could be like, well, there's a natural disaster in Florida, let's turn all the guns off for a while for their own protection. Or, oh, there's an uprising in California, let's turn all the guns off for their protection. So that's one main reason why this can't supplant normal guns as the main thing that we have for self-defense. They're just a nice little addition for people that have kids and have some extra money and want something like this. Because let's not forget our history. It was when the colonists became too dependent on their high technology weapons that the Cylons marched in and sent out a code and turned off all their weapons and wiped them out. So we don't want that happening. We don't want to be wiped out by Cylons. So these can just be a novelty, be a little special, you know, a side thing. This is like a side dish to the main course. These are never going to be the main course as far as guns go. They're just a side dish that some people might like. They're the Brussels sprouts. There's not going to be a lot of people that want them, but they should be there. So I guess in the end, if I had to sum up this video in just a couple sentences, I would say super cool sci-fi orgasm-causing wonder guns, good. Human race being wiped out by Cylons, bad. You ain't even my real dad.